Chris, speak on it.
You know, in the beginning, there was a covenant made with what they would say Father Abraham, a covenant of blessings, of prosperities that we would have within this lifetime. And what we don't understand is that so many times there's an attack to the very things that were originally promised to us. Like, we weren't meant to be down and out, broke, busted, and disgusted. That was never God's plan for our life. And so a lot of times you'll find yourself of many people just turning away from God altogether. Like, I don't want to serve God, because if this is what I get serving God, I'm going to Satan's side, because they prosperous over there. They get it over there. Because over here, all these other people that I see, them people in the church, they ain't got nothing. Don't seem like they bout nothing. All of them sick. I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I want to be wealthy and healthy. And if I got to switch sides to get it, that's what I'm going to do. And for some people, that may not, that may sound very grave. It may sound like something, but a lot of folks have had those ideas. A lot of people have secretly battled with that within their head. And I can get it, because no, God's people were never supposed to be bound. We're never supposed to be beggars, bottom feeders. We were never supposed to be people like that. But what happens is that there have been so many things that we have come into covenant with, knowingly or unknowingly, that has us bound up spiritually. So anything that is bound in the heavens will be bound on earth. And we don't know this stuff because nobody teaches us this. Nobody says that, listen, why you facing this struggle in your life is because there's a curse. There's a curse upon your life. You don't know. No, there was a curse placed upon your mother, or a curse placed upon your father, or bloodlines, before you. And now those iniquities are being visited to the third and fourth generation, and you're it. You just happen to fall in line with it. So you're born into a curse, not the original plan before the foundations of the earth, before you entered into your mother's womb. No, you entered into a different covenant. A cursed covenant, because of the altars and things like that that have been set up. Now, just taking it a little step further, when things arise and the devil arises with people, it's very important for you to allow the Spirit of God to now arise in you. Why is that? Because people send out and spew out word curses daily on you. People cast spells on you daily. And when you don't bind up, rebuke, reject that, cast that into the abyss, you have now come into covenant with that, because silence gives consent. That's why they say the devil is very cunning. Satan is very cunning, because he places things on you that you don't know. So then you begin to live in a curse. You're in a covenant that you have no idea about. Much like I told y'all, I didn't know what type of covenant that I had done got into. Hey, I didn't know I was going in this to serve another God. This is how it is. A lot of times you don't even understand that your mama done sat before, a witch doctor, so she can get out of her situation. A witch doctor done told her, oh, all you got to do is do X, Y, and Z, and she go do that. And this falls upon the bloodline. You don't know that such and such sat before the witch doctor and they told her, listen, all you got to do, write these people names in red ink, put it in a bowl, submerge it in that bowl of water, freeze it. After such and such time, you can unfreeze and it'll be done. And go bury this in the grave, and go do this, that, and the third. And these people do this stuff. So they have set up altars. And the law of the altar for Christ is that when we set up and sacrifice unto God, he brings in blessings. But when things are set up and sacrificed unto Satan, now there's curses that's brought in. And then there's bloodline curses upon us. So it's like this. I always hate somebody who sucker punch. Like, if you gonna fight me, we gonna square up. Nah, don't catch me off guard. Don't hit me in the back of my head, because I'm already off. I don't have a fighting chance right now. You done came in, or y'all jumped me. No, because if you come to my front door and I'm aware of that, I'm going to finish it. But we getting jumped in the spirit and we don't know how. We're not seeing this stuff come at us. So many of us, if we could look at our spirit, man, we set up, we get all together on the physical, but in the spirit, we're bound like mummies. There's layers upon layers of things that's got our destiny tied up. You say, well, I'm a fighter, but you got no hands spiritually. Those hands are tied. You could not fight a demon by yourself right now if you wanted to. And these are things that we don't know. We could sit in church all our life and people not really explaining to this degree. Nothing happens on earth without first happening in the heavenly realm, in the spirit realm. So whatever you're living in today is as a result of what has already been made manifest in the heavens, that's just showing forth itself on earth. If there's a cancer in your body, is there a disease, if there's a divorce that's underway, it's already been made manifest in the heavens. Listen, it just happened to be on earth because there's a covenant and agreement. There's an agreement that has to be made. And some people say, well, I've never said I agree to any of that stuff. Well, silence does give consent. You never bound and rebuked it because nobody told you. So this is a learning lesson for us all. How do we unentangle ourselves? How do we untie ourselves? How do we begin to now fight back spiritually? Some things you got to call a fast for. There was a story in the Bible where, the disciples could not cast out the demon that was upon this man. Now, the disciples were required to pray. Yes, they're with the Messiah. They're required to pray, but fasting wasn't a requirement because the Messiah was already there. We would have to fast a little later on. So they were vexed as to why can't we get rid of this demon? Why can't we rebuke this demon? And the Lord told them, listen, this kind or these types of demons only come out through fasting and praying. So some of us need to understand our prayers alone are not just going to do it. The fasting aspect of it is going to evoke all of heaven's army, all of the angelic host that was assigned to you to war for you, to help you overcome everything that you and your physical man can't do. You evoke that type of help when you set aside your plate, when you get rid of the pork chops, when you say, listen, I'm taking this time for God. I don't want nothing to eat or drink. I just need to see God. I trust and believe that when I build this altar unto God, when I sacrifice my body, when I present my body holy and acceptable unto God, my help is coming. My help will be here. I'm calling forth the help of God because I need this. Nobody tells us how to untie ourselves. People be looking for a quick fix. That's why people turn to witchcraft, voodoo, and everything else, because it seemed like a quick fix, but it sets on a bloodline of curses. It sets on a bloodline of curses. So some people right now, yes, when you turn down your plate, you can expect all of heaven to come and fight for you. But you can't do that. You can't receive help from on high if you're not in alignment. Nobody told us that the word of God, that the Bible is only set forth like a law book. You got many lawyers out here, and they will tell you under statute, this, that, and the third. According to statute, this is how we quote scriptures. Nah. According to Proverbs 6:31, if the thief be found, he got to return sevenfold. I need me. Because you done had me bound. Nah, I know my mama done did some stuff. I know my forefathers done did some stuff. So God, I repent. Not just for my sins, but the sins of my ancestors. I come into covenant with you. I only bind myself to your covenant. I'm not with that other stuff that they did, covertly or subtly. I'm not with that. And this is what happens. We get into covenants in our dreams. As these physical vessels, they sleep. Our spirit is always up. We always up. Nobody told us cover ourselves with the full armor of God before we rest our head, before you close your eyes, because you're going into spiritual warfare, dear. And these dreams that come, the murderous spirit that comes in these dreams, the snakes, the this, that, and the third, you don't realize you're coming into covenant with demons. If somebody come from the dead, these dead people talking, these ain't your people. These ain't the people. They have no more place on earth. These are not your people. These are familiar spirits that's getting you to come in covenant so that they have legal access to reign, rule, rest, and abide all up in your life. Who knew? Who knew? Why y'all ain't tell me this when I'm coming up and I'm reading the Angel's Bible and all this other stuff? Nah, this is the stuff I needed to know so I can get back to the original covenant. Because stuff that done had my destiny tied up. No, some of you never had to say, I took on another God and I bowed to an altar. Listen, what your forefathers did, what grandma, what auntie them, anybody, you don't realize that? It's so many times with diabetes, everybody dying from complications of diabetes or cancer, or all of these young people die in the family year after year. The youth are dying within the family. You burying babies. This is a curse. And instead of the family calling a corporate fast, we going to fight one another. That's the stupidest thing. We need to be taking all of this energy to fight the demons. We need to bring all of our bodies into subjection because this works when we all do it. There are so many times where we are sitting here and we getting sucker punched. And unfortunately, we tied up, we bound up in the spirit realm. And that's why the spirit of stagnation is upon our life. That's why the spirit of poverty be upon our lives. That's why the spirit of rejection seems like everywhere you go, people reject you. This person can get this or this person. And in your own being, you know you're well able. But you can't touch it You cannot get to it. Why? How am I bound? How am I bound? And sometimes you be like, anything I know I'm actively involved in, I done got rid of. I don't talk to him. I don't deal with them. People say I haven't had sex in years, so I know it ain't that. Any covenant that I done made, but now it's time to renounce that. Any covenant I made sexually with whoever I deal with, you have to renounce that. It's demons and curses that were brought at the conjunction of sex. These are certain things. Sometimes you be in a relationship, or you with your husband or wife, and the other partner is always cursing your child. You stupid. You retarded. And now that child is growing into that curse. These are the things that we don't know that keep us bound. And as the Bible teaches us, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. But through knowledge, the just shall be saved. So we looking to be saved in this hour. We're going to be delivered in this hour. But this is just helping us. God, you see us. We trying to do the best we can down here, but we got to get untied. Lord, untangle me. Untangle me. I'm evoking a fast to call on the heavens army. Some demons in your life, I promise you, you could pray till you bleed. It's not going to work unless you fast. Call on help that's higher than yourself, because these are principalities. You think these lesser level demons, these are principalities. God will show you when you evoke a fast. No. You're not dealing with alopecia. You're dealing with the fact that that hairdresser you've been seeing for years, she done took pieces of your hair, your sister hair, and your mama hair. Yeah, everybody go to her. Yes, and she working witchcraft against y'all. So this is some stuff that people got you bound in. Some people done gave you a trinket you wearing around your neck, said this a protection piece. You walking around with a curse. You're living in a curse. You're giving life to that. You have now given legal jurisdiction to these enemies to reign, rule, rest, and abide. This is law. You have now set up an altar. The law of the altar says that when God, an altar is set up unto God, there's blessings that come in. Now, when an altar is set up to demonic entities, there's curses. There's bloodline curses upon many of us that we had no idea about. So many of our family members would never admit to sitting before a witch doctor, never admitting to mopping the floor with turpentine or whatever to keep evil spirits away. This sage trend everybody got going on, you can unfollow now if you don't like it. It's evoking demons. It is setting up altars unto demonic forces, and this is why people are dying. You don't understand. You don't know when that person joined that organization. You saw the health decline of the people in the family. You don't see that. You don't see that. Cancerous spirits and all of these other things. These are all spirits of fear. Now you see things running in your house, and y'all, so many of us be tied up looking like a mummy. And you will say in the natural, I got hands. So if something come to my front door, I'm going to handle it. I was brought up on the principle. Somebody come and hit you, you knock 5 from them. You can't hit and defeat what you don't understand. Call forth that fast in your life. Begin to start a life of prayer and fasting so you can see these demons that's fighting you. Love you much. Mwah.